Good morning, friends. How are you today? Did you have a nice weekend? I was very excited this weekend because I got to see so many of my friends. I was walking on the street yesterday with Stephen, and along came Sophie. Never mind, we'll start over again. Hi, friends. How are you this morning? I hope you had a good weekend. I did, and I was so lucky I got to see so many of my friends. I was walking along the street yesterday with Steve, and all of a sudden I heard somebody call from their car, "Hi, Kathy!" And I looked, and it was Sylvie and her mom. They were in their car. And then I saw them drive up the street and turn into a parking lot. And I thought, I wonder if they're going to meet my friend Iris. And guess what? I looked in the parking lot and I saw Iris's car there too. They visited. Sylvie stayed in her car and Iris stayed in her car, but they could talk through the windows, so they were a safe distance apart. So that was a very good idea. So they got to visit for a little bit and their moms got to visit for a little bit. What a fun day. I also saw Iris on Friday when I was sneaking up to her house to drop off the bag with goodies. She opened her door and said, "Hi, Kathy," and she surprised me. That was really fun. I love it when that happens. And then yesterday, I was out in the garden and Steve said, "Hey, there's something in our door here." And he opened it up, and there in the door was a container with some blueberry muffins in it from Arthur. He had helped his mom bake some muffins. Or maybe it was his dad, I'm not sure, but they made some blueberry muffins, and they were delicious. I was in the mood for something sweet, so it was just perfect. Thank you, Arthur. And then on Saturday, I was walking someplace else with Steve. We do a lot of walking for exercise, and I heard a little voice, and I thought, that voice sounds very familiar. And guess what? It was Grace, and she was walking with her mom. She also had her stroller, so she showed me how she could climb up in it, and she told me she had some snacks to eat while she was out for her walk. What a great idea. It's a movable feast, right? And then yesterday, Maggie and Henry's mom sent me a picture of their beautiful wall hangings that they had made for their mom for Mother's Day. They came out so pretty. How did yours come out? Did it come out nice? I bet it's beautiful. And I saw a video of Luna and Paloma, and they were eating some ginger stars, and they made me smile. They were very funny. They said they liked their ginger stars very much. And then I saw a picture of Matilda, who was sitting in her high chair, and I think she had eaten all of her lunch. Or maybe it was her breakfast. I'm not sure. But guess what? She was also eating a ginger star. Yum. And I saw a picture of Leo and Ezra sitting on their couch, and it looked like Ezra had been reading a book. And on their laps, they had plates. And in those plates, well, in Ezra's plate, there was a ginger star. And in Leo's hand, there was another ginger star. They were having a ginger star picnic on the couch. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? I think many people liked getting their ginger stars. I'm glad that you liked them because I had fun making them for you. Not as much fun as if you were with me, but I had fun knowing that you were going to eat them and enjoy them. I'm trying to think of a good kind of cookie to make on this Friday. So if you have an idea, tell me, okay? What was that? We'll see. Thanks for the ideas, though. Okay, today I thought that we would work on the number 2. Is anyone out there too? I thought so. We have a bunch of 2-year-olds with us, right? How old is 2? 1, 2. Or some people can go 1, 2. Or there are so many ways of putting up 2 fingers, right? You could go 1, 2. And how many is 2? I have 2 eyes, 1, 2. And 2 ears, 1, 2. So many things that we have 2 of, right? Well, now you have the number 2. You also have 1, 2, white flowers. Maybe they're daisies. Maybe you're going to color them another color. Maybe they're going to be rainbow flowers. I don't know. You will finish them, and then it will be a surprise for me. And then these are the centers of the flowers. 1, 2. And then you should have a little rectangle of paper that looks like this. It has dots on it. And those dots are going to spell out the number 2 written in a word form. So you're going to take a crayon or a pen or a pencil or whatever you have, and we're going to trace that top line. Go dot to dot to dot, and it will make the top line like that. See that? And then we're going to go down this line of dots and go dot to dot to dot. And guess what? You just made the letter T. T is for terrific, because that's what you are. It's also for Tommy. So you can write a T for Tommy. Now we're going to work on the letter W. So do the same thing. We're going to go from top to bottom. W is fun because we go down, up, down, up. So see if you can do that. Follow the dots. Down, up, and it will look like that. And if it doesn't, don't worry. You'll have a lot of time to practice when you're growing. Every day you can practice, and you'll get it. And guess what? W is kind of a cool letter, because when you turn it upside down, it becomes another letter that we know. It's a favorite letter. It's M for mom. And mom is fun because it goes up, down, up, turn it around, and it's a W. Okay, the last one we have, it makes a circle. And the circle letter is what? O. And your circle might be very round, or it might be a little oval, or it might be kind of wobbly, but those are all okay. And when you put those 3 letters together, T, W, O, it spells 2. Good job. Everybody did it. Okay, so first let's take our number 2. And this one's tricky because if you put the glue on the wrong side, your 2 is going to come out backwards. So, when you put the glue on it, we're going to put it down on the paper. Sometimes on the video things come out backwards, so I'm not sure how you're seeing this. I think I might have to do it the other way. You know what, you might have to ask your mom and dad to give you some help with this, because I forget if this video camera reverses the numbers so they come out backwards. I'll have to check that later. But you're going to turn it over so it's facing the wrong direction. Get your glue out. Use your strong arms to pull it apart. And we're going to put some glue on the number 2. Here, let me face this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. And you're going to put lots of glue. Go around the bend and on the straight part and make it nice and sticky. And I decided that I'm going to do my numbers on the paper the long way. We did our letters and the paper was turned this way so that the short way is up and the long way is down. You can do your number that way, or you can do it this way. You could do it even crooked if you wanted. However you like. There's no wrong way of doing this. So I'm going to put my 2 right there because I like it kind of in the middle. And then I'm going to iron it down with my hands. There. Nice and stuck. All right. Next, I'm going to take my 2 daisies and I'm going to put some glue on them. And you can just put the glue right in the middle of the daisy, and if you put enough, that should be enough to make it stick. And then I'm going to press it down. And then I'm going to do the other one. Glue, 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 glue. And I'm going to stick it right beside it. That's how I like mine, but you can put them anywhere you like on your paper. It's always fun to see where you think things should go. It's not always the same as my idea, but it's all okay. Because we're just doing this so we can practice our gluing, really. And I put some glue on my circle, and I put it on there in the middle of the flower. I just thought of something funny you could do with these little circles. You could make smiley faces on them if you like. There, so my flowers are stuck on. They don't shake off. And next, I'm going to turn my little sign that says 2 over. And look, on the back side of mine, the ink came through. That's funny. And I'm going to rub the glue back and forth, and I'm going to put this at the bottom of my page. Just like that. There. It's the number 2. And now, as I think about this, I'm going to have to really pay attention to how these numbers look when we're doing them on the video, because I think it might be coming out backwards for you. But anyway, you can take your crayons and you can make some nice designs all over this paper, decorate the 2, color in the flowers, make them all beautiful, however you like. And that's your number 2. Okay? Now, who wants to hear some stories? I know I'm ready to read some stories. And I was thinking that I would read about Arthur's baby today. This is a good one that you like. All right, I have to get this so I can see it and you can see it when there's not too much light on it. Sometimes these shiny books are hard to tape because see how shiny they get, and then you get that annoying glare, right? Let's see, we'll put it that way. Arthur's baby, we have a surprise for you, said Father. We're going to have a baby, said Mother. A baby, said Arthur. Yes, in about 6 months, said Father. Better get some earplugs, said Binky Barnes. You'll have to babysit, said Buster. You'll have to change all those dirty diapers, said Muffy. And you'll probably start talking baby talk, said Francine. Everywhere Arthur looked, there were babies. More and more babies. You could be in for triple trouble, said Buster. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 babies. We call those triplets. I will teach you how to diaper a baby, said DW. Don't worry about diapers, Mother said. I want to show you something. Look, this is Arthur, age 9 months. Is that really me? Asked Arthur. This is Arthur 1 year. Look, said DW. This is me. Don't I look adorable? It says DW age 2 months. Can you tell what she's doing in that picture? She's crying. Wah! And here she is at 5 months. Can you tell what she's doing there? She's crying some more. That Saturday, Mother took out her suitcase. Where are you going? Asked Arthur. I need to be ready for the hospital, said Mother. Sunday morning, Grandma Thora was fixing breakfast. You have a new sister, she said. Yay, said DW. She'll be just like me. That's what I'm afraid of, said Arthur. The next day, they went to see the baby. We named her Kate, said Father. I think she has your nose, Arthur. And DW's mouth, said Arthur. Can you see baby Kate in this picture? I'll give you a clue. She's crying just like her sister DW cried when she was a baby. Look, there she is. All the other babies are laying there quiet. On Tuesday, Mother brought Katie home. Every time the doorbell rang, more presents arrived. They're not for you, Arthur, said DW. Arthur, don't you want to try holding Kate? Mother asked. I'd rather look, said Arthur. Arthur doesn't know beans about babies, DW said. I have to go upstairs, Mother said. Arthur, would you watch Kate? Me? Asked Arthur. What do I do? Don't worry, said DW. I'll take care of everything. Arthur can't play, said DW. He has to babysit, but you can come in and see my baby. Look, Arthur's friends all came to the door to see if he could play. Don't get too close because you have germs. And be quiet, DW said. She opened her eyes, said Francine. Stand back, said DW. She wants her bottle. Kate drank her bottle in a flash. Then she began to cry. Uh-oh, DW looks a little bit worried. DW gave Kate a kiss. Kate cried louder. DW bounced Kate. Kate screamed. Arthur, do something, DW said. She's your baby too. Now she's my baby, said Arthur. Why is she crying? Asked DW. She's trying to tell you something, said Arthur. Burp, said Kate. Is everything all right? Asked Mother. It is now, Arthur answered. She just had a bubble. She had to burp. Let's see what else I have. Oh, this is a book that I love. When I was little, I used to look at this book for a long time. I love all the different houses in it. And I love this map. I love following the footsteps and seeing where they go. By all the houses, and every time it goes by a house, I think about where I saw in the story. And look, there's a child. I used to pretend that was me. Come over to my house. Some houses are bricks, and some houses are sticks. Some houses are square, and some houses are round. There are all kinds of houses around to be found. Some are on stilts, high up off the ground. Some houses are wide, some houses are thin. Some are so thin you can hardly get in. But wherever you go, you will hear someone say, "Come over to my house. Come over and play." Come over to my house. The fishing is great. They bite all the time and you don't have to wait. Come over sometime and bring plenty of bait. My house has a kite that can whistle and sing. Come over someday and bring plenty of string. My house has so many big pine trees outside. We can slide on my wonderful pine needle slide. The roof of my house has a stork in a nest. The roof of my house is a good place to rest. You can play on my roof, but my house is so tall. It's a long way downstairs to go after the ball. Whoa! I hope it doesn't land in someone's chimney. Come up to my porch and I'll give you a treat. Spaghetti. We'll eat and we'll eat and we'll eat. We'll eat 20 miles of it. We'll eat a ton. Food at my house is such wonderful fun. Come over to my house and sit by the fire. My fire burns trees and it's hotter and higher. Our fire's in a stove. It makes beautiful heat. Come over and warm your cold feet. That's a big stove. Come over to my house. I live on a boat. I live in a city of houses that float. Come into my houseboat, have supper with me. I'll give you cold rice and a cup of hot tea. I eat with chopsticks, and you can learn how. But boy, you are terribly sloppy right now. Can you eat with chopsticks? I cannot. Come over to my house and stay for the night. We have 200 rooms, so I'm sure it's all right. But don't touch the tigers. They're liable to bite. Do you suppose one of those tigers might be named Charlie? In my house, my bath is a fancy machine with handles and spouts, and it's long and it's green. I just have a tub, but I keep just as clean. At our house, hot water comes out of the rocks. It's handy for washing ourselves and our socks. Come over to our house. You'll like our bath too, especially if you have some laundry to do. Over at my house, you'll eat funny fruit. You'll ride on my llama and toot on my flute. Who wants to ride on a llama? I think that sounds fun. My house has books, and they're all very fine. I'll learn to read yours, and you'll learn to read mine. Look, they have a tractor outside of their house. Who would like to ride on that tractor? Maybe Obed? Sumo, you too? In a faraway place, in a wide empty land, my house is a tent in the wind and the sand. At my house, I'll show you a wonderful show in the night in the sky when the northern lights glow. My house has an ostrich. Hop on, take a ride, but watch where you're riding. Don't ride him inside. Would you like to ride an ostrich, Ina? That might be fun. In back of my house lives a red kangaroo and 2 koala bears and an emu or two. Come over and play. We're all waiting for you. Who likes koalas? Does anybody out there like koalas? They are so cute. And an emu and kangaroos. My house is quite cold. I need fur to sleep. My house is quite hot. I just sleep in my skin. I sleep in a bed with a big puffy puff. Come over some night, we have puffs enough. In my house I sleep on a mat on the floor. There's a mat here for you, but I hope you don't snore. Come over to my house and we'll milk a cow. It isn't too hard and it's time you learned how. You can milk goats at my house, so come with your pail. It's easy. You'll find the milk back near the tail. Look at that goat. I don't think I've ever seen anyone milk a goat. My house has a reindeer. Come on, don't be shy. Step up and start milking, boy. Give it a try. Have you ever heard of reindeer milk? Every house in the world has a ceiling and floor, but the ones you like best have a wide open door. Some houses are rich, full of silver and gold. Some houses are quite poor, sort of empty and old. Some houses are marble, and some are just tin, but they're all alike when a friend asks you in. There are so many houses you'll meet on your way, and wherever you go, you will hear someone say, "Come over to my house. Come over and play." Which house was your favorite? I like that one too. Let's see, I have one more, and it is Upside Down. Curious George and the Firefighters. This is George. Hi, George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, George and his friend, the man with the yellow hat, joined Mrs. Gray and her class on their field trip to the fire station. The fire chief was waiting for them right next to a big red fire truck. "Welcome," he said, and he led everyone upstairs to begin their tour. There was a kitchen with a big table, and there were snacks for everyone. The fire chief told them all about being a firefighter. George tried hard to pay attention, but there were so many things for a little monkey to explore, like that shiny silver pole in the corner. See it? Where did that pole go? George was curious. Why, it went back downstairs. There was the great big fire truck. There was a map of the city, and there was a whole wall full of coats and hats and big black boots. George had an idea. First, he stepped into a pair of boots. Next, he picked up a helmet. And finally, George put on a jacket. He was a firefighter. Suddenly, the firefighters all rushed in. "This is not my helmet," said one. "My boots are too big," said another. "Hurry, hurry," called the fire chief. A bright red light on the map of the city told him just where the fire was. There was no time to waste. One by one, the firefighters jumped onto the truck, and so did George. The fire truck with all the firefighters sped out of the firehouse, and so did George. The siren screamed, and the lights flashed. The truck turned right. Then it turned left. "Woo, woo, woo," went the whistle, and George held on tight. And just like that, the fire truck and all the firefighters pulled up to a pizza parlor on Main Street. Smoke was coming out of a window in the back, and a crowd was gathering in the street. "Thank goodness you're here," cried the cook. The firefighters rushed off the truck and started unwinding their hoses. They knew just what to do, and George was ready to help. He climbed up on the hose reel, and one of the firefighters saw George trying to help, and he took George by the arm and led him out of the way. "A fire is no place for a monkey," he said to George. "You stay here where it's safe." George felt terrible. George sat on the bench and looked around. Next to him on the ground was a bucket full of balls. George reached in and took one out. It fit in his hand just right, like the apple he'd had for a snack. A little girl was watching George. He tried to give her the ball, but she was too frightened. George took another ball and another. "Look," a boy said, "the monkey is juggling." The boy took a ball from the cage and tossed it to George, but it went too high. George climbed up onto the fire truck to go get it. Now George had 4 balls to juggle. He threw the balls higher and higher. He juggled with his hands. He juggled with his feet. He could do all kinds of tricks. The boy threw another ball to George. George threw a ball back to the boy. The little girl reached down and picked up a ball too. Soon all the children were throwing and catching, back and forth. The fire chief came to tell everyone that the fire was out. Just then, the little girl laughed and said, "Look, Mommy, a fire monkey." "Hey," called the fire chief, "what are you doing up there?" "What a wonderful idea," the little girl's mother said to the fire chief, "bringing this brave little monkey to help children when they're frightened." "Oh," the fire chief said, "well, thank you." Before long, the fire truck was back in the firehouse, where a familiar voice called, "George!" It was the man with the yellow hat. "This little monkey had quite an adventure," said one of the firefighters. "Is everyone all right?" asked Mrs. Gray. "Yes, it was just a small fire," said the fire chief, "and George was a big help." Now the field trip was coming to an end, but there was one more treat in store. All the children got to take a ride around the neighborhood on the shiny red fire truck, and they each got their very own fire helmet, even George, and it was just the right size for a brave little monkey. That was a very nice story. That George is always getting himself into some pretty interesting adventures, isn't he? Well, I have one more thing. How are you doing finding Waldo in the pictures when I hold them up for you? Does that work? I'm not sure, but I think it might be fun. So I have another Waldo picture for you. And here is the postcard before we start. It says, "Wake up, Waldo fans! Have you ever seen mermaids in a canal? Or a dog wearing Indian feathers? Or a soccer ball kicked right through a camper? I have today. It was amazing. Your friend Waldo." Okay, get ready. I'm going to hold the book up and you look and see if you can find Waldo and see if you can find a dog wearing Indian feathers or a soccer ball kicked right through a camper. There are a lot of funny things going on in this picture. Ready? We'll start down here and I'll go slow. There are so many interesting things to look at. Did you try drawing a Waldo picture of your own? And then ask somebody to try and find a character in it that you made? It must take a long time to draw these pictures because there are so many things happening in them. Look at that. There are some bowls inside of a garden. I think they're having a little, I don't know what they're doing with those bowls. I hope they're just watching them. They could get hurt. So many people in this park. And there are campers. Did you see the ball that was going through the camper? Did you find Waldo? Let's see, what are some of the things that I like in this picture? I like the children that have a little teepee, which is an Indian, a Native American kind of home. I think that's pretty cool. I would like to be in a teepee sometime. Let's see, did anyone find Waldo yet? I think you might have seen him. So many things happening. Did you find the dog with the Indian feathers? I don't think I saw that one. These are very tricky pictures. Okay, remember, if you didn't find what you were looking for, you can ask Mom or Dad to put the picture back on and freeze the frame so you can look at the picture a little bit longer until you find what it is you're looking for, okay? Have a super nice day. I hope you do something fun, and I'll see you again tomorrow, okay? I love you. Bye.